But it is, which one is easy? Duty of worship or working in a construction company as a laborer? Which one?
Relative to the wage. You have received this wage, and then he says,
Yeah, or relative to the wages, huge. Right, relatively, it is impossible to compare. So one of them is giving the whole existence, life, and humanity, priceless. You cannot do it. But, excuse me. What is, we have to respond back. It's very simple. Acknowledge it. Accept it. Don't own it. Don't take it for granted. It's very simple. Duty of worship is very simple. But in practical terms, is it simple to remember that all these things are given to me and they are all blessings and just grace, and no one owes any quality which is manifested on it, and including me. Don't own it. The most difficult side of very easy worship is not to own it and not to forget that everything is a gift given to us. So simple. But not to forget is not that simple. Because why do you think practically it is not very difficult? Because, no, it is practically, it is very difficult. Because we are late, I'm a little bit under stress. So it is very difficult. Why do you think practically it is very difficult? We are living in this world, and this world functions like cause and effect relationship. So in order to sustain my worldly life, my material life, my animal side of my life, I have to be in contact with the causal chain. So it must be easy at the end of a long training. While you are thirsty, practically you look for a water, action-wise. But your mind, your feelings must be connected not to water, but to the creator of all these chains of events. Your desire, your thirst, and the creation of water, and manifestation of the qualities of the creator in the creation of your senses, in the creation of your water, and in connection with the rest of the whole order of the universe. But creator, your mind, your feelings must be attached to the creator. Your physical body will be in contact with the material side of the existence. It means manifested created creatures or created creatures. It means matter. I have to be in contact with the matter, while at the same time I will be thinking or concentrating on the source of the existence of everything that I am in contact with. Practically, that is why it is difficult. Practically. Otherwise, if we get trained in doing this dual job at the same time, if we get trained, then it becomes easy. Excuse me. The light duty of worship. Yes, you are not going to do a heavy work. Just training. Why do we need this? Why we don't have this training? Why do you think we don't have this training? Not because, only because that we don't really take religion or belief matters seriously, not only because, but what we are presented, what we think as what religion is, has nothing to do with ubudiyya, worship. The concept of religion in the atmosphere is completely irrelevant to worship. Obeying certain rules, like we are following the laws, the laws of the secular system. We think of religion in these terms. And also, choosing a religion is something to do with my social contact, social life. And maybe tradition, maybe my family connection, maybe my community, maybe something to do with my nation, but not really what worship is. That we don't hear about it. That is why we find worship side is more difficult than doing rituals, practicing rituals. Worship side is ignored, neglected. I raise this subject very frequently because that is the source of the problem. Otherwise, why the worship should be difficult? Just acknowledge it, be conscious of it, aware of it. You are not going to do anything, you are not expected to do anything hard job. No. Even somebody, I told you earlier, or if you try to exhort yourself to do some particular rituals, the Prophet said, no, the God doesn't need you to torture yourself. It's nothing to do with it. It is a matter of concentration. Which side of my humanity I am going to use? It's very simple. In my own actions, including my ubudiyya, including my rituals, practicing rituals as well. So, inshallah, we understand that the duty of worship is very, very light. Just training, being aware of the reality. But it doesn't mean that, for example, after we are aware of the meaning of what we do, believe me, practicing the rituals becomes not a burden, on the contrary, a source of pleasure. Do you notice people who practice, for example, getting ready for the Olympics? As they work, they enjoy it. Musicians, how much they do practice playing the guitar or piano or what? How many hours a day? Do they see that it is a burden or do they enjoy it? Which one? Why don't we enjoy the rituals or obedience of the guidance, the physical side of the rituals? Why? It becomes a burden for us. Because when you play the music instrument and do exercise, you realize that you are improving because you look for the pleasure. You don't really take notice of the weight of the guitar or piano, how expensive they are, very expensive. How expensive it is, you don't look at that. You look at the pleasure. When we pray, we look at the physical side of it. When we pray, when we fast, we take notes of the physical side. Now I'm going to do 4 rekat or units of prayer, no, 8 rekats, or we concentrate on, I have to do this action. Pay attention to the pleasure side of it. Communicating with your Creator. Loving communication, because you are expressing your pleasure, that you are pleased what He has given to you already. Thank you. Like, if you don't misunderstand, like a loving relationship, you know, with the one who is the lover and the beloved. For example, I can say, okay, Eric is away for 2 months and is coming back. Ask Ragda to go to the airport and receive Eric, whether it is going to be a burden on her or not. Which one? To receive him. To receive him. Physical action becomes a source of pleasure. Why don't we turn our rituals to be a source of, or into a source of pleasure? I'm not saying we are bad people. No, the problem is, the problem is not because we have a bad intention or good intention. Our mindset has been set. How do you say? Our minds have been set in a way that religion or religious duties are extra to my life. We have to understand the psychology. I have to do this, I have to go to school, I have to do my schoolwork, I have to be successful in my job, in my school, education, etc. And plus, I have to observe the requirements of religion, plus. And it's an extra job, not like the person who gets the guitar or piano and starts playing and enjoys it. Religion is not the source of enjoyment, a burden. In the culture,
But you have to believe in it in the first place.
But believe what?
Say in this case.
Be conscious of it. Believe is an obscure word. Be conscious of it. It means self-reflection is necessary. What am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? Religion starts from here. Religion doesn't start. I was raised up by a Muslim family. It's nothing to do with your religion. That's your parents' culture. You have to turn to yourself, of course, like a child. We are not talking about a child or not speaking to a child. We are speaking to you intelligent people here who know how to reason. So what you do, what you are expected to do, very simple. First, at least once or twice, a session, 2 sessions, sit and concentrate on yourself. What am I here in this world? What am I doing in this world? What does my existence mean to me? Very simple. We never do that. Because it doesn't really qualify religion. It may be seen as a philosophical activity. Rationalizing something, they label it. Just to think about your existence. It's nothing to do with rationalization. It's nothing to do with philosophy or philosophizing the subject. Just trying to understand who you are. This is fundamental, without which you cannot really establish any religion. Because religion is really the meaning or the response to, yeah, I'm not speaking to you what you think I am, all right, take it this way. Lovely baby. So getting half cook carefully watching it. She thinks I'm speaking to her. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I'm speaking to you as well. So, inshallah, we have to understand that the duty of worship is very simple, very light, easy. Okay.
But you are lazy in this too.
Oh, that much also we are lazy. Yeah.
If you perform it half-heartedly, it is as though the former wages are insufficient for you.
Now, we perform it half-heartedly. Perform what? As we understand religion, worship, we reduce it to physical actions. These methods, I feel that each phrase must be studied 1 hour. Now, why, if we perform? Because we think that religion is performance. And we understand from performance, physical performance. We understand not an enjoyable performance that we really take pleasure rather than thinking of the material burden on us, which is almost nothing, but still we have to do some physical actions. Yeah, we have to do some physical actions. But it doesn't mean that these physical actions by themselves fulfill what is expected from us. It means to perform our worship. Yes, in this physical action, there is something else needed. There is something else needed in these physical actions. What is that? Consciousness. And we need to educate ourselves in this matter, actually. Okay. If you perform it half-heartedly, copy from somebody where we are. Yeah. Yeah.
If you perform it half-heartedly, it is as though the former wages are insufficient for you, and you are overbearingly wanting greater things.
Now, let's go. And for what we are expecting, look, an extra wage for the actions, physical actions we do. But physical action is even, for example, sitting and saying that, please Allah, give me a nice job or something. But we see that it's a physical action because I am asking, I said it, it's an action. So he must respond back to me now. We don't really relate it to the acknowledgement of the previous grace we received, which is enormous, beyond imagination. It's just an expression responding with what we have already received. But I think we always talk about this, but it needs to be emphasized. When I'm ill, what I don't want to be ill. I don't want to be ill, and I want to receive my healing. Now, when I turn to God and ask God to give me healing, I turn to the future. But the creation of illness is to make me realize that what I desire, health, is given by someone else. Now my duty is to acknowledge it. Get it? My duty is to acknowledge that who gave me the healing. We think that when I am ill, when I ask, please God, give me healing, we think of the future. I did this, God must give me the healing. That's why our prayers are not really accepted. Why? What are you doing? It's not worship. It is not acknowledgement. It is a kind of business. I will do this and you will respond it back. This typical example we keep repeating, but you can expand this example to everything else. Whatever occurs in your heart, what you want, go back. Have you received that? Do you know the existence of such a thing? For example, the very important, one of the very important problems that we are facing is jealousy, envying somebody else. This somebody else has something that you don't have, or you are jealous of it. You envy it. What we have to do here, this person has this one, this quality, or this property, whatever. Acknowledge the source of the giver of this quality and express it. Oh, my creator, or the creator of this friend, please, I know that it is you who has given it. I acknowledge it. So that you can overcome the pressure of jealousy, which is almost uncontrolled. It comes, it is automatic. Like when your eyes are open, you see it, automatic. Jealousy also is automatic. But in order to turn the jealousy into a negative factor in our life, we can turn it into positive factor by just revisiting the understanding of what is going on in my life. Why am I jealous of somebody? Because I want the same thing, or even better. So question this desire. Who gave it? Who gave this desire to you? So you have seen something on others. Think about it. Who gave it to this person? What you want to have it? Who gave it? So by acknowledging it, express your acknowledgement. That is worship. It's very simple. I know you are the one who gave it to, who gave this beautiful things that I also desire. Maybe you can say this acknowledgement, turn it into a prayer saying, why don't you give to me as well? But I don't bargain. Not because I ask you to give me as well that you will give me. No, that is your desire, that I want this. And this feeling is given to me by you. And I have to express my need. Do you get it? Very simple. You can overcome it. For example, the very problematic human feeling, jealousy. Oh, very easy. Okay. No? Carry on? Inshallah, we should carry on.
Also, you are complaining. Why was my prayer not accepted?
Now, why was my prayer not accepted? What does it mean? What kind of problem this sentence has? My prayer is not accepted or was not accepted because his understanding of prayer is for the future. I will do this, you will do that. Back to me. You will do and give me a favor as a result of this. As if you work for a company and at the end of the month, you expect the company to pay you whatever the wage you agreed on, something like that. In our relationship with the Creator, we have no right to do something and say, this is my labor, this is my work, now you have to pay me. Because worship, by definition, worship is Very simple. We keep this word always because it's so essential. Acknowledgement. Nothing more. Acknowledgement. But we want to have it rather than acknowledge it. We want to have it. We turn our relationship, Fatiha, you follow it? We turn our relationship as if the relationship between you and me. But the relationship with the Creator, we turn it into the relationship as if it is taken between you and me. I will do this, you will pay me this much. That is correct in the or among the created things, created beings. It was you and me. So that is why we have to make treaties, we have to make contracts, and we have to abide by the contracts. But with God, which kind of contract we made? What the contract, covenant we made with God? He gave us the ability to acknowledge Him. The contract is based on, yes, I will be loyal to this contract. I will use it in the right way. I won't deviate it. I won't ignore it. I won't deny it. It's very simple. The covenant, all the covenant with our spirit and the covenant between God and the stories are told in the Quran. The children of Israel covenant examples there. It is in me. The ability is given to me. Actually, the right word is potentiality is given to me. And I have to develop it, improve it, make it real by using this potentiality and turning it into an ability. Do you understand the difference between potentiality and ability?
Well, one is you do it all the time, and the other one is perhaps.
No, it is with you. Potentiality, the capacity is with you. It is given to you.
Yeah.
The contract, because we are given all the necessary tools to acknowledge the Creator. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the contract is, I am going to use it for the purpose they are created. What we do, we usually practically, I disobey or mischief this contract and use it in the world, saying this is satisfying me. This thing itself is satisfying me. Thinking in this way, if I'm going to have it, I will be happy. Forget about the Creator of my senses and the object of the object. We forget about it. Get it? Potentiality, every person has been given the capacity to acknowledge all the qualities of his or her Creator in the form of potentiality. It is latent in us. We are encoded with it or hardwired with it. We are there. Now we have been given the free will, whether we will use them and turn them into ability or not. Mm-hmm.
We use the example of playing an instrument in the beginning of how this idea of practicing acknowledgement could be enjoyable the way that practicing an instrument, for example, is.
As we get the enjoyment there.
As we discuss worship. So what came to me is that, for example, with playing an instrument, you can notice improvement, more harmony with the practice. But with consciousness, from my experience.
Everybody's personal experience says the same thing. Don't worry about it.
It's
Carry on.
it's the more that you're aware, the more you realize you're less aware. So it's a discouraging. It's not really an encouraging process. When you're practicing this guitar, you get better and better. You get more encouraged to keep practicing. But the more you become conscious, the more you realize you're not aware of more bouncy, so more discouraging it seems.
It seems. Now, I still believe that the reason why we don't see the improvement, because we don't see religion on this line. Our religion is in the material world doing something materially more. Materially more. For the typical example, not one day, fasting one day, but 5 days, 6 days, 30 days. And the more you fast, the more religious you become. That's culture. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't fast. It never means that you shouldn't fast more days. But this is not, the value of fasting is not based on the number of the days that you fast. Consciousness, awareness, pleasure comes from consciousness, not the numbers. It doesn't come from the numbers of the day. Yes, numbers will be practically practiced in our life. We must practice it. But the pleasure is not in the numbers. Pleasure is awareness in fasting, in doing certain religious activities, or obeying the law, I would say. Obeying the law. Obeying the law is a burden. Yeah, it is easy to park your car anywhere you like. But if you want to obey the law or to get the ticket, that's something else. But if there is a law, where to park, when to park, how to park, etc., it becomes a burden. It limits your freedom. Ultimately, it is good, but that's something else. It becomes a freedom, burden. But who obeys the law with pleasure? If you turn religion or revelation or teachings of the prophets and the Quran, if you turn the teachings into like secular laws, you never get pleasure. Now it is time for noon prayer. Now it is time for noon prayer. I have to pray. I have to do certain physical actions. Where is the pleasure? No consciousness, no awareness. We don't know what it means, what we are doing. We are just obeying certain actions. Get it? We are just obeying certain actions. It's ridiculous. I mean, it shouldn't be prayed. Don't go into extreme. No one says you shouldn't pray, but the pleasure in prayer is missing. Why? There is no consciousness, awareness, which is performed through the prayer, that you are getting the pleasure of acknowledging your Creator's qualities and really feeling happy that you performed your very human duty. Can you, the typical example again, if someone offers you food, you eat the food, you enjoy it, but if you don't thank for the host who prepared the food for you, it's a burden on you that you didn't even say thank you, because it is ingrained in you that you have to thank in response. And if you are able to express the to experience the relationship between you and your host, the one who offers you whatever you like, or that gives you a present or gift, if you connect with this person in the right way and express your feelings, that's express your feelings of thanking or grace. Look, just express the grace in the best way, with consciousness. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your presence with me, or your whatever he offered you, gift or present or whatever. Do you feel that it's a burden to thank the person who really made your life pleasurable? Now, why don't we get the pleasure of connecting with God while we are performing our religious duties? Why? The reason is very simple. We don't know that this is religion. This is the main teachings of the Quran. We turn the Quran into a book of law, codification. So it becomes a burden. You got to do this, you shouldn't do this, you got to do this. It's a burden, source of burden. And religion is our religious responsibilities. There's no such thing. Now, we enjoyed that somebody gave you a very good present. You liked it and you enjoyed it. Now you have to do something. Come on. Why? Go on thanking. Thank the person. Huh? Sorry?
No, I was asking a question, but yeah.
It is a very ridiculous way of understanding of religion. Makes everything meaningless. Something external to me, not from within, and no personal satisfaction. No, internally feeling happy that I thank the man, the one who gave me the present, and I really like that. But which kind of presents the Creator has given us? Immeasurable. So I thanked him, hugged him, expressed my happiness to him, admitting that, look, you made my life pleasure. Now, you made my life pleasurable. Can you imagine that we exist? We never appreciate that. Enough. We never. Okay, let's go now, I think. Why was my prayer not accepted? What do you mean my prayer is not accepted? It's not expected to be accepted or not to be accepted. You express your prayer. You express your feeling. What do you mean? You have been given the present, you are thanking. And you are acting according to your human nature. And while performing your human nature, you get the pleasure. Yeah, for example, don't you like to play with the baby? Yeah, do you say that I have to play with the baby? Yeah. Pleasurable in the action. The pleasure is in the action. What if you think that you are a babysitter, paid for it? I sit with the baby, I looked after the baby, they didn't pay me. That is the mistake. We are not the babysitters in this relationship. We are given the potentiality to enjoy the presence of the baby in our life. If you don't notice that, then you turn into a business babysitter, right? or a person who runs the kindergarten. Unfortunately. Okay.
But your right is not complaint. It is supplication.
Oh, look at the sentence. Again, read it again. Emphasize. Emphasize the important words that you're right. Yeah.
But your right is not complaint. It is supplication.
What it refers to. What it refers to represents here. It. What does it?
You're right.
Yeah. Yes. But we have to read this critically. It refers what? Your right is supplication. I am very happy that you have given all this to me. And I acknowledge you as the giver. Please give me the health now as well. Do you understand? Supplication. But we turn it into not supplication, but complaint. Why? I asked him, I have been asking the Creator God for how many days, and he has not given me the health. Typical example. That's the wrong attitude. That's why we don't feel satisfied in our supplications, in our prayers. In this matter, this subject is a very important, essential matter to me. I don't know whether you see it essential or not. Because what are we going to talk about here while we are together? What is worth talking? Really analyzing our human reality. Nothing else. What is going on within us? Unfortunately, we don't think, and it is not in the culture, that religious study is something to do with human analysis. Religious study is what? Learning the laws. So external. It's a big distraction, and I feel that for those people who use their intellect, it is a very important source of disappointment, because they get disappointed. So I have started praying and nothing changed in my life. I became a Muslim and not much changed in my life. Yeah. I'm not being specific. So all those people, who embrace Islam later on, not much change in your life. Yes, I agree. Really, those people who have chosen Islam later on shouldn't misunderstand. It doesn't change you. Before you were not happy with the Christian community and theology. Now you are happy with Islamic theology, and maybe somehow to a certain extent, if you are lucky to have some nice people around you, Muslim community, if you are lucky. Otherwise, your internal self needs to change. It means you have to learn how to use yourself. How to utilize yourself. Okay, so now the difference between the prayer, your right, human right, after performing some prayers and maybe making some prayers, we should do it with the consciousness of supplication rather than expecting something in return.
With this,
Excuse me.
So-
What's going on?
would So taking into context like that, we are not actually really being mindful of our existence and how thankful we are. So you ask the question, like, can you imagine what is the existence of your existence? Like, can you fathom how what mercy there is in the existence, and how much
Existence of all qualities that we are given.
Yeah. And just that
Humanity,
itself.
understanding, intellect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it abounds. And
Yeah.
so if you ponder about these things, then what you can do is to supplicate and be mindful and be aware. But if you don't have this connection, then yeah. So you have to always come back to existence in order
The
to.
existence of everything.
Yeah.
Not only existence, people understand material existence,
Right.
but even more so the existence of your human quality.
Because of where it will lead you to.
They are valueless.
Yeah.
I cannot really value it. Human qualities. Not only physical things. They are also very important, but more so. Can you imagine you are seeing, you are hearing, you are tasting, but you don't have consciousness? Nothing. You cannot think. You cannot really control your free will. Can you imagine? You don't feel like or dislike. Can you imagine? Oh, compared with the physical tools that we are given, they are priceless, but the essential side of human beings, impossible to think of the value of them. So we have to use these qualities to acknowledge the Creator, employ them, and use them as a means of realizing that they are given to you on purpose. Okay. So this word is very important, huh? You understand, but your right is not complain. It is supplication. Now, aren't we going to have any hope? Aren't we going to have any hope as a result of our prayer concerning the future or related to the future? Yes, we should. For example, you think that you need something. Now, you are aware of the existence of that thing, this object, or whatever it is. So that is X. You need X. First, acknowledge that X is given by the Creator of the universe, nothing else. One, be aware of it. And your need for the X is also given to you by the One. Now, prayer must be performed in order to explain, or if you like, state your response, that you are the one who gave all this. Now, how the prayer turns into supplication for the future now. This is for the previous existence, already existing things. But you want something particularly in this world to happen to you, and you use this prayer as a means of supplication referring to the future. It means, can you please give that X to me, because I acknowledge that only the one who gives is you. Now, this is a very right statement. That's supplication. Supplication is not a payment. That is supplication. It's not waiting for the payment. Asking the one who has already given you and expressing that you need more. Right? You need more. That's supplication. We also we shouldn't turn supplication into a kind of relationship between created beings. Yeah, I'm going to water, look after the garden or the orchard, and there will be some produce that the crops that I will harvest. This kind of relationship. No. With the creator expressing yourself. There's nothing more. And you can express your need for the future. But this must be based on your acknowledgement of the past creation, reality, acknowledgement of the past creation. You get the relationship. It is beautiful. If you are aware of it, when you are praying, you will know what to do, what you are doing. What are you expecting in return? Do you get it? Do you get the difference? Unfortunately, when we are not aware of this kind of relationship, we turn the rituals as burden on us, plus our prayers as a means of bargaining. And if our prayers is not accepted, we turn into a complaining, rather than seeing the pleasure in it or experiencing the pleasure in it.
So I was going to ask a question, make a comment about that, because please give me, it's a fine line between please give me. It's very easy to fall into overbearingly wanting greater things or waiting for a response, you don't get it, therefore ingratitude. But what we're saying is, I'm asking, in supplication, first acknowledging we're made needy, that need is given to me specifically for a reason, to acknowledge that the only one that can respond to my need is the one that created my need. That's the first aspect that has to be consciously acknowledged with every new need or every new desire for some sort of future health, well-being, gift, whatever. But then we always try to link hereafter, eternity. We always try to connect this consciousness of eternal life in the present moment. So please give me, we always say don't focus on actually getting the thing, because that's bargaining. So it's very easy to say, please give me, and actually focus on the response, which already now we're in the wrong direction, because then we're bargaining, waiting. We're not seeing abundance, we're waiting for abundance, and then that means we're overbearingly wanting greater. We're now entering ingratitude. So I guess then the purpose of supplication is just to secure your need with the one that can give you your need, whether you get it or not, though.
Well, this has nothing to do with you. The acknowledgement. You are sure that there is somebody who takes care of your needs.
Right. So it's not about please.
This somebody is absolute, eternal. Yeah. So if you are aware that this somebody is taking care of your needs, this somebody is absolute, means already encompasses past, present, and future.
So it's not.
So it goes into eternal life, but in this world you can experience it. I know my guarantor.
So it's not really please give me, it's I'm sure that only you can give me, and then I let that go.
No, I don't expect anything in return that he will give me for the moment and change the world order for me. No, but if we are aware of it, as soon as we express our supplication, we get the reward. Because we are aware that we have the guarantor who is able to fulfill it. That's enough. That is enough. If you notice it. You are aware that it is in the hands of somebody who can absolutely perform what is needed, or realize or create what is needed.
I think you just said something that is the answer to this is, so then supplication is not about asking for something, getting for something, waiting for something. It's being reminded that what I want is not in my hands, and therefore I can let go of that want into
It is in the hands of, carry on, it is in the hands
my
of
sustainer,
who is it,
creator of the universe.
who is it,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolute being. So you are in the hands of absolute being, eternal being, why bother? So before going to the hereafter and receiving the reward, you got the reward now. Before going there, you experience it. But the problem comes from, we think that my relationship with God is like the relationship between you and me. I will do something, you will pay me something back. But between the relationship between me and the Creator is, I will acknowledge who you are as I become aware of your power or your capacity. My existence is secured. So in the hereafter, doesn't matter. I know I belong to the Eternal One. So can we be, I mean, to believe in the hereafter is not a question anymore. Your existence belongs to the Absolute One. What do you mean by in the hereafter? I am already in the hands of the Absolute One. So, but we think that in this material world we die. It doesn't matter. This is created by the Absolute One who guaranteed my existence. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't reduce that the importance of belief in the hereafter. On the contrary, it makes sure that hereafter is guaranteed. It doesn't become a problem for you anymore. Whether, should I believe it? Why should I believe it? It doesn't become a problem. It doesn't become a question anymore. Do you see what I mean? These are quite interesting subjects. Okay, let's carry on, inshallah.
But your right is not complaint. It is supplication.
Yeah, your right is make it, the pronouns make it clear that it will register in our mind, because it's a new world view. And all that world view, but religious view, how we should view religion, what belief is. That's why we need emphasize, and repeat. In every different context, we have to repeat the same principle. It's very simple, because it is the purpose of my existence here. The others are all temporary. Okay, so I would rather read it like this, but when I mean by critical reading, although my pronunciation is horrible, but you're right in what? After performing the prayer, you think that I have a right now. Yeah? Is not complain that your prayer has not been responded. It means your right after or while or after performing the prayer is supplication, means expressing your need really sincerely from your heart. Really being aware of it. So make the case more enduring in our understanding. So when you read it straight away, you don't get the gist of the subject. You just, having the knowledge of something is nothing. You're feeling it, experiencing it, it becomes a real thing for you, because human qualities make it real for you. Though physical side of the matter, we think that the reality is in physical side, not in human feelings. So we are looking for the physical reality there. I am ill, I want to be healthy. So health is the problem for me now. But human reality is to acknowledge that the health is in the hand of the absolute creator of the universe, who is also your creator. Your need for health is created by him. Acknowledge this. The pleasure is there. Pleasure is not getting the health or receiving your health back.
That's key.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It looks like difficult, but it's not difficult. But unfortunately, we don't see the prayer in this way, or supplication in this way, or religion in this way. That's why it is difficult to comprehend and digest. Okay.
Through his pure grace.
Whose pure grace? Explain. Repeat.
Through the pure grace of the Creator.
Absolute being. Yeah. Our owner. Emphasize on it. So it will register. Yeah.
Through the pure grace of our owner, the absolute being, and munificence.
Grace and munificence.
Almighty God bestows paradise and eternal happiness.
Yeah. Now, paradise and eternal happiness is from God. How do we know? How do we know that this paradise is guaranteed? Anyone? An idea? How do you know that eternal happiness is guaranteed?
Because the need for it exists.
Sorry, say it. Because
my need for it exists.
My need for it exists, and correct. So carry on.
And my needs are always being taken care of by my sustainer.
These needs are given to me. These needs are given to me by the one who gave me existence. Never forget this logic. I keep repeating this. Somebody may be bored of it. But these needs are given to me by the one who created me and everything. So when I acknowledge it, it is guaranteed. If I don't acknowledge it, no, it is guaranteed from the side of the creator, but not from my side. Like the one at night. Do you see? Do we receive the sunlight? No. No. What happens? Do you think the sun stops emitting the light? An answer? Say it.
No.
No. So for the recording, no. Sun still emits the light. Why don't we get the light at night then? The light is there. Why do I not get the light? Come on, answer. Anybody? Why don't we get the light at night?
Well,
light is there, the same light, same sun, same amount of light is emitted by the sun, created in this way. Yeah.
So we wouldn't be able to even understand and comprehend what light is, though, without.
No. The question has nothing to do with it. Now, sorry?
We're not facing the sun.
We are turning our back to the sun. The question is different. Our earth turns its back to the sun. That's why we don't get the light. Otherwise, sun doesn't stop emitting the light, emitting light. Do you get it? It's very simple. That's what God's grace is there. Paradise is there. Eternal happiness is there. The desire for eternal happiness is in me. They are all coming from the absolute one, who is the almighty creator, God, the creator of the universe. It is already there. Why I am not in paradise? It's already there. I turn my back to it. I cut off my relationship with the eternal creator, and I see I am alone here. I have to take care. You know, life is very difficult. We have to work hard. You see the expression? It is becoming even more and more difficult to get a job. Huh? And the needs of human beings are increasing. And we have to make more and more money. That's how life philosophy is. It's now, can you get pleasure out of with this understanding, out of this understanding in your life? You disconnect yourself with the eternal source and do your duty that is in the world. We should never confuse humanity with our animality. Our animality has to work here in connection with the rules or the requirements of the order in creation. We have to obey the order in creation. Our animality takes care of it. Don't worry. No one needs encouragement to get a better job or a higher paying job. Yeah, no one needs encouragement. But humanity's side is neglected. Human side is neglected. And if we cut off the human side functioning, it means, you know, human side is dead. What does remain now? No mercy, no paradise, no eternal happiness. As if when the earth turns its back to the sun. Light is there, but you don't get it. So paradise is already there. You get it? So we think that we have to work here hard to gain paradise. No. Just use your human qualities in the right way. You are in paradise. It's difficult, huh? Yeah. Because we have been still being taught that paradise is after we die only. No, here as well. It continues because your existence belongs to the eternal source.
So could you clarify that exactly? So by saying that paradise is here now, is it just that you're acknowledging that I'm connected to it, but of course I'm not really
that
there.
Your animality is not in paradise, man. Don't confuse.
Okay.
Your humanity is in paradise by acknowledging it. You don't bother about animality side as far as your connection with the Creator is concerned.
Yeah.
But your free will will adjust the relationship between your animality and your order, what you have to do. Typical example, if you are hungry, you will go and eat.
Yeah.
Your animal side will go to the kitchen. Your human side will connect to the provider.
So it's like the
kitchen is limited, food is limited, temporary, but the creator of the universe and your need is eternal. Your animality will be busy in the kitchen. Your humanity will enjoy the acknowledgement of the eternal source of your existence. Get it? Now, these are, we are not taking a psychology course, but these are how human beings must benefit from. We have to benefit from these realities. Yeah, we shouldn't be reductionist. Reductionist in understanding of religion, saying that we will die and then we will go to paradise, we will go to hell. While we are here, we have to suffer. Yeah.
Ultimately, that's the only conclusion, though, if you have that perspective. So if you have that
So beginning of the sentence, I couldn't catch it.
I said, ultimately, if you have that perspective, that's the only conclusion you come to, that you have to suffer now.
No. Now, what you do, you go to class. These are huge subjects, really. Each phrase, not sentence, each phrase needs hours of discussion. Now, what we do, we go to class, and you have to go to the class. You have to walk. And maybe you have to take a bus or public transportation or drive 1 hour. Yeah. It looks like suffering, yeah? Your body suffers, yeah. You go to class, what happens? You sit in the class and the professor starts teaching the subject. When you learn the subject, what happens? Your human side develops, improves, makes a progress. Get it? But your animal side has to do something. The human side increases in capacity. At the end of the course, you become, let's say, an engineer or a professional, or I don't know, financier, whatever you call them. Yeah? Economist, whatever you call them, accountant, whatever. But human side suffered. Sorry, animal side suffered, human side developed. It must be the same in matters related to religion. Through acknowledgement. I am afraid of using belief, the word belief. But the word belief is used in just to believe it, whether you understand or not, you are aware of it or not, just believe in it. It means really blindly submit yourself to it and say that, hey, it will happen, but never experience it. That's why I prefer to use, rather than to use awareness, consciousness, or sometimes practically speaking, your worldview rather than belief. Belief is completely corrupted now. The meaning is corrupted. It's a beautiful word, but meaning is corrupted in the society. So we avoid. Yeah, I think we don't have much time. Come on.
So seek refuge in his mercy and munificence constantly.
Mercy and munificence constantly. Seek refuge means become, conscious of it and practice it. Practice it. I like you are playing the guitar. The more you play the guitar, your animality goes up and down and works. But your human quality increases in getting the pleasure from music. That's what we have to see
Mutual relationship.
but on the opposite side, there must be a proportionate, but which proportionate? Not the positive, but opposite proportionate. Yeah.
When it goes up,
Yeah.
it goes down. Inverse.
Sorry, say it. Sorry, say it again.
Inverse.
Is it inverse proportionate? Yeah, maybe. No, I don't know the language. So it means the more animal side takes the class, suffers, animal side's not suffering really, Actually, it is enjoyment as well, but something else. Let's say we have to do something, action. So the pleasure of learning, becoming aware, increases. One side, you have to work and do something, this animal side, but human side develops. Right? It doesn't mean that really physical side also is suffering. No, I mean you have to do some work, and you have to come. You have to get up early morning, prepare to move out of the house, take a bus, and then train, and then bus again. Then most of the students that I am with, they are commuters. So they say 1 hour and a half it takes to come from home to the college. Yeah, it is. It's a business. It's a lot of things to do. And it seems to be something that we are undergoing a kind of hardship. But when you learn it, you become let's say, economist. And then that's your human quality increase. Like this, we think that while we are doing prayers and other activities, religious activities, animal side has to do something. But through these actions, if we are aware of what the meaning of these actions is, our human side feels pleasure. That is the acknowledgement of the source and connecting with him, practically connecting with him. So your human side will be in contact with the eternal being, and you know that you belong to him. It means eternal being is, absolute being is taking care of you and your needs. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So seek refuge in his mercy and munificence constantly.
Now, supplication is explained here. Seeking refuge in the Almighty God's mercy and munificence. Supplication. Constantly, it means be always in supplication position. Constantly.
Trust in him and heed this decree.
Now, we will go to this decree, or we will read the decree. It means his declaration. Yeah? So, trust in him. I mean, how can you not trust the one who created the universe? Whom else you can trust? So, when you are conscious of it, look at the word that's so important that you believe in it. No, I mean, correct word, but it is misused, misinterpreted. When you are conscious of him, automatically you trust him as you are conscious of him. Not necessarily, I don't know, somebody created the world, yeah, and he promises me the paradise. Okay, somebody else. No connection. No consciousness is related. Are you aware? No connection is related. Knowledge-wise, saying that this building must have an architect. So, that's a knowledge. Yes, that's correct. That's my conclusion. That's my rational conclusion. Looking at the building and the materials cannot become like this as it is, as I am experiencing. That's for sure. It must have an architect. It does not necessarily make you and me in contact with the architect and experience his thoughts, his mercy, his grace for me. I go and turn the light on, I turn the light on. I use the door, here is the window, we get light, etc., etc. Where is the architect? Simple, isn't it? So supplication puts you in contact with your creator. I acknowledge you and I expect you to fulfill all my needs. I'm aware of it. It's beautiful. It is so simple. It is not a burden. It is not difficult. It is so light to do. The problem, we know, and always we come back to this point. The problem is we don't see, we don't hear that religion is based on this. When you say, when Ramadan comes, what do they do? They organize the halakas or circles to study how to read the Quran in Arabic language. And that's religious activity. There's a big difference, isn't it? Now, okay, what is the declaration from the Creator who says, hey, look, I'm going to tell you something? What did he say?
Trust in him and heed this decree.
No, don't repeat the word exactly. What do you mean by decree?
Declaration.
Yeah, declaration, explanation, disclosure, disclosing the secrets of our life here. Right? This man writes one word, but they have to make sense of it. Unfortunately, the culture that we are growing in encourages us to get a general view of the subject, never be precise. But in technical words, yeah, in technical subject, yeah, but the reality of life, never be precise. No one can ask the precise word. Why? Question. Why am I here? Explain. No, you happen to be here naturally. Come on, man, come on. You have to make money. That is how the culture is. So get a general idea. We get ready for the interview. If they say something, if you don't know, pretend to know. Yeah. So definitely I can learn it. How I know how to learn it? So to assure the person who's going to employ you. That's how the culture is general. We cannot be general in understanding any matter related to belief, iman, consciousness, awareness. We have to be very precise. It is not difficult. Okay, let's read the declaration, explanation. He whispers as if, shh, why I created you, I'm going to tell you. Guidelines, think in this way. Okay, let's read this one and stop. Inshallah.
Say, in the bounty of God and his mercy, in that let them rejoice. That is better than what they amass.
So what does it mean? What do you understand from it?
So in this disclosure, guidelines, secrets of advice or guidance of how to change our worldview, we're being told that witnessing bounty and mercy of God is the way to rejoice.
Rather than
overbearingly wanting greater, rather than what we want materialistically.
What we do, actions. But it is the pleasure lies in the realization of the mercy and bounty of the absolute creator, not in my action. I will do the action. My material side will do the action. My animal side will do the action. But the real pleasure is in realizing the bounty and the mercy of the absolute being. So if you like, you will play the guitar and the sound will come, but the pleasure is, it's a worldly example, the music you hear makes you feel happy if you like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But your hands have to work. So the real pleasure from this physical action is realizing the pleasurable sound of the music. That is the example in this world. Now, related to this verse, you cannot say that I have worked this much, so I have prayed, I have done so much charity work, etc. Now, I am a good guy. Yeah, I've done lots of good things. Huh? I'm a good guy. No. The pleasure, the declaration says, the pleasure is in acknowledging the source of all these actions is the absolute, the merciful one, absolutely gracious one. This is absolute. That is where the pleasure lies. Do you get it? That's where the pleasure lies. Pleasure should not lie in your physical actions. For example, you go to the kitchen and prepare the food. Actions are, pleasure is not there from the taste you get from the food. But in relation to your creator, through all these actions, what you get the pleasure from the food. You know that this is provided by the one who established this order, the order of this universe. You belong to him. He is speaking to you now. This realization is the source of pleasure. Yeah, rejoice, as the Quran says. قل بفضل الله وبرحمته فليفرحوا. فرح, rejoicement. Yeah, فليفرحوا هو خير مما يجمعون. What we are doing and preparing it. But of course, in the traditional books, they say it is better than the properties and money you make. We don't understand it this way. This is definitely so, but how can I practice it? That's what I mean.
Can you repeat that actually?
No. Traditionally, when they say خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُ, what have already accumulated, amassed. It means what the properties, they say, what the properties you have gathered here in this world is not important, but God's mercy is important. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, there.
Now that is true, but it's not very simplistic. It is very simplistic, superficial. That's correct.
Yeah.
But of course, the properties are not going to benefit you when you leave this world. Finish. But what will remain with you? Not the action that you do, but in the action, your realization of the absolute creator satisfies your humanity. So never confuse your human side and animal side. Animal side has to obey the order. Human side get the meaning from the order and realize who the owner of the order is and your existence as well, this owner. So the Quran is teaching us, or the speech of God, the declaration of God says, hey, notice my mercy, my bounty, my grace to you. Notice that. Not what you have done here. You're on the side. Did you get it? Is it clear? No?
No, what you said is clear. The thing I don't get is what you said is, in comparison to the simplistic view of society, the other part that you introduced that I've said, forgot.
So don't you hear that? I mean, when you study the text, what is immersed, what is accumulated, what is يجمعون. Gather together, Jama'ah. I've got this properties, I've got this amount of money in my account, or such and such. I've got this children, or taking care of me, or but my security, insurance, blah, blah, whatever. Social security, for example. The Quran says your humanity doesn't get satisfied with any of them. You got to do it, your animality. But your humanity requires to acknowledge the absolutely merciful and gracious one, that your existence and the existence of the universe belongs to him. So you belong to him. That's how humanity gets farah, how do you say? What is the word used here? Rejoice. Yep. Is it rejoice? Yeah. That's what you get it. Right? So if you understand this, that's the right way of understanding as far as I know. But usually people don't understand in this way, but they don't go there. They reduce the properties. Nothing to do with your actions here, rather than consciousness relationship. So they refer it to the hereafter. We refer it, yes, hereafter, but not starting now. Starting from now. Now, inshallah, we have to stop here. Would you like to show me from where? It's very easy, I think, now. Okay, thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alim al-hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you very much. See you on Wednesday. Jazakumullah. My spirit really enjoyed today's discussion. We started late, sorry for it, but it was worth it. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, next time we won't be late. Assalamu alaikum.